Hi guys, welcome back to Casually Crafted. My name is Ashley and this is Crafty Chat number 75. So this is going to be a little bit of a hodgepodge between today's video and a video I recorded a few weeks ago and then I cut in half. So it's going to be mostly acquisitions and works in progress and then a few finished objects. So I will probably, I don't know for sure because I haven't watched it in a while, but I'll probably just put that last one, just put it in here, and then I'll insert myself right now with however it works out. So right after the craft fair was over and I didn't know what to make, but I needed something to work on in the car, I decided I wanted to make myself a cable pumpkin because I kind of liked the way they looked, and I had this yarn in my stash. It's Lion Brand Tweed Stripes, and I don't have very much of it left to show you, so I'll just show. I haven't finished it. It's still obviously unstuffed. So basically you kind of make it like a hat, like you start here and then you make all the cables, then you decrease a little bit. So then I'll stuff it and you do the lines where you pull it and tighten it so it squishes it down. And then for the cable pumpkins, I did, because I was trying to be fast with the ones that I was making, I added a cinnamon stick. The ribbed pumpkins all had like a yarn stem. And then, since I still had more of this yarn in my car, I decided to start a ribbed pumpkin. So these ones they're basically single crochets in the third loop. So I start with a single crochet, then I do a half double crochet in the back loop, and then do a single crochet in the third front loop, whatever that is, of the half double crochet. So it makes the ridges. And so I just make a rectangle and then seam that up. So I'll cinch this in, stuff it, and then cinch the top. And I haven't decided if I want to keep this for myself or not. Like, I kind of like it. I don't know if I like how much red there is in it. So these could always be for next year. So I might wait to decide what kind of stems I want to do and just finish these off and stick them in a pile for next year. Anyway, so acquisitions, I've been probably spending too much of my newly earned money on yarn. Just because. But so let's see. So I went to Goodwill in the dollar store not too long ago, mostly just to get stuff for Halloween, right? I found that dress. I found the stuff for my broom. So that's what this bag is. At the dollar store, all I got was this just yarn plush. I have some of this. I don't love working with this, but I did make some chickens with these held together with like just a 4-weight, and they come out little and cute. So I just got a few of those, and then also just this cheap one because I don't know why I got this one actually. I think it was because I was trying to find some yarn that matches one of my towels, and I thought this might match. Even though it's like the cheap yarn, probably won't actually use it for that, but there we go. So at Goodwill that day, so there's these like 3 or 4 ladies that go to the Goodwill, so it's like in the next town over. But I swear, every time I go, when I go like first thing in the morning when they first open, they're there. Like, they're there first thing in the morning. So I don't know if they go every day or if they go on Mondays like I go on Mondays, but they're there. Anyway, so I found this yarn, and then as I was checking out, they were ahead of me checking out, and then one of the ladies had a bunch of other yarn, like the Lion Brand mandalas and stuff. It's like, dang it, you took all the good stuff before I got there. Anyway, not that these are bad, they're just different. So I got some scarfies. This one is like the purple and black. I don't love that my Goodwill does this tape thing to their yarn, so hopefully it's not too bad. But this one was $3. This one is pink and black. I believe also for $3, yep. And then they had this buttercream luxe alpaca solid for $2. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I know I can at least do hats with the Scarfie. Then I got Woolies Thick and Quick, $2 for this purple, my goodness, this orange that I can make pumpkins with. I think that's why I said purple, because I was trying to say pumpkin. And then they had 2 things of cotton, and this one was $1. And this one I couldn't find forever. Oh, it was also $1, this tealish one. I have some of this already. And there is some little hairs on it, but I can't decide if it's hairs from the Scarfie, because they're little, and sometimes the Scarfie and that alpaca has like little hairs. So hopefully it's not animal hairs, because one time I got, like, cat hairs, I mean. One time I got some Bernat blanket yarn, and it was in like a bag at a different thrift store, and when I started working with it, I was like getting all sneezy and stuff, so I ended up throwing it away. So that was sad. So that was Goodwill one day. Then just on Saturday, I took my kids to Joann's and Walmart to get some stuff for their costumes, because I needed them to try stuff on. Like I said, I was looking for specific colors for some towels that I need to work on. So at Walmart, I got this pink. I probably won't end up using it. Actually, because I got this a different day. But anyway. I might use it, I might not. So I got Big Twist. So the rest of this was Joann's. Big Twist value, this purpley color, lilac. And I also got aqua. And then I also got light green. And they had like a forest green also. It was like barely darker than this light green. So it was like, I don't know if that's forest green, but whatever. I also got Basic Stitch from Lion Brand. What is this color? Turquoise Heather. So one of my towels, it has really weird colors on it. So it has like bluish teal color like this, and like one that's a little darker. Then it goes into like almost a denim-y color. And then it has like a weird dark pink color. So it's really hard to match, but hopefully it'll look okay once I decide which ones I'm doing. In their clearance section, they had this Big Twist Gentle. It's kind of soft. It says it's a 5 weight. It looks like barely thicker than maybe a 4 weight. I might use this to make some Christmas ornaments. And then also in the clearance section, they had this K&C Roving, which is 100% wool. And I was thinking pumpkin for this as well, because I had all those pumpkins like stocked up from a few years ago when I made a bunch, and nobody bought any from me, like on my Facebook page, and I sold most of them. So if I decide to sell any more someday, I need some more. I need to make some more at some point. So that was Joann's, and then at the dollar store after that, I have seen that people have been posting that the dollar store has these, the Premier Just 1 Pound for $5 at the dollar store, Dollar Tree. So I just got a red. It is called Garnet. It's kind of a dark red. And this one is called Forest. So Christmassy for that. And other people's posts have like white and black and whatever. They only had those 2 colors and like a navy blue. So I didn't decide to get the blue. And then today is Monday, so I went grocery shopping like I always do. And I was talking to my friend because she told me a little while ago that her little brother and his wife are having a baby. And they, like, a few weeks ago finally announced that they're having a girl. And so I was, like, double checking with her that it is a girl and when they're due and stuff. Because I really want to make him a baby blanket. Because we basically grew up together. And so he's, like, to me, he's, like, my little brother. And he was kind of good friends with my little brothers. So yeah, I wanted to make him something. And so I was, like, asking her what colors they might like. And she wasn't really sure, but, like, kind of had like one idea. And so I was looking through my stash. I was like, I'll just do whatever speaks to me, but nothing was speaking to me, even though I have lots of options. And where did the bag go? Oh, I buried it under all the other stuff. Anyway, so I was like, well, I'm at Walmart grocery shopping today. I might as well go look at the yarn. I know they don't usually have a ton of options. But on the bottom shelf, I found this mandala bonus bundle. And I was like, yep, that's the one I want to go for. There was another one, a mandala gradient, which was also really pretty. And it would like kind of match her name. I don't know what my lighting is doing, I'm sorry. It would kind of match her name, but this kind of went with the feel I got from what my friend was saying. So I did get 2 of these. I don't know how many I'm gonna need. I don't know why my lights are so weird right now. Now you can see me maybe. Yeah, I got 2. I tried to like match the middles a little bit. I'm planning on doing, I think I'm gonna do it's the doodad pattern by Hooked on Sunshine or something like that. She's the one who's done like the Phoenix blanket, and I almost thought about doing the Phoenix blanket, but I already bought the doodad pattern when I did Easter dresses this year, because I made one of my girls, the top part was like the center of that blanket, and I just stopped until when it was big enough. So I wanted to make something out of that again someday, so that it wasn't like $6 of a pattern just for one thing and never make it again. So I think I wanted to do that pattern with this, and I got 2 just in case, because it is a 3-weight yarn, I believe. Yes, and it's 1,181 yards. So I mean, it might be big enough with 1. If not, I have 2. If it's big enough, then I have another one to make something else with, I guess. Or I can always return it. I don't know, keep my receipt or whatever. But yeah, so that is acquisitions. Some of it. So for latest acquisitions, I'll start with those. As I did the Hirschner's order, just for some things that I needed for some projects, and they've been sitting in this bag waiting for me to start on them. So give me a second. Okay, I didn't really want all the crinklies. So for the most part, I like to get my Premier Parfait Chunky at Hirschner's, partially because it's like $1 cheaper than doing it through Premier or anywhere else, and they usually will have a free shipping sometime around when I need it, or like cheap shipping. So I think I ordered these on Halloween, and it was like 31-cent shipping if you spent $35 or more. So I just got a few colors. So I kind of wanted to make maybe some gingerbread men, maybe some like a Highland cow or something, I don't know. But I didn't have any light brown. I only had like the dark chocolatey brown. So I got this teddy bear color, and the lighting, I don't have my light thingy turned on, so you just get natural lighting. So it's a little more red than this, I think, but it's called Teddy Bear, and I got 2 of those. And then I got some peacock, and this is more teal, mostly because I was pretty sure I'm all out of it. And then I got 1 of this one, which is cornflower, and this is a blue I've never had, so I just wanted to get it. But also I wanted to try Premier Basics, the chenille. So it's kind of like Bernat blanket yarn, but I've never tried it. So I got this one to maybe do a gingerbread man or cow, and this is the color Rust. So I got 2 of those, and then I got 1 winter white. So it's kind of like an off-white. And I also got, just because, a kiwi. So I don't remember what I was going to do with this one. I was kind of going back and forth with a bunch of different things that I wanted to get, trying to keep it under a certain budget, so I couldn't really decide. Then I got a thing of Red Heart Super Saver Ombre in the color Green Apple. And this I probably won't get to this year, but there's this Christmas tree project thing that I thought would look cool. They used just plain green colors, but I thought it might look cool with the ombre because you can make like a set of 3, like of varying sizes, and I thought it would be cool to make 3 of them together out of the same yarn. And the last thing I got from Hirschner's was this Department 71 Sparkle Lash, and it is the color Lime Twist. To me, that's almost a little more Christmassy green in real life than like a bright spring green, which was kind of what I was going for. Years ago, I think it was Krista at the Secret Yarnery, showed how she made, out of some sparkle eyelash yarn, the bottoms of it was Easter grass, basically. So instead of like messy, papery or plasticky Easter grass, you make just a little circle that goes in the basket out of yarn like this. And so I've kind of been on the lookout for a while for something like that, and I just was like, maybe this will work. I don't know if it'll be enough for all of our Easter baskets. I don't know. So I at least have it to try. So that is all my acquisitions, I think. Okay, so for my list of works in progress. So I did show in that last video, whatever, the yarn for the baby blanket that I wanted to start. So I did start that blanket like right away because I needed something to do in the car, and I wasn't quite ready to start on my Christmas projects yet. So I started it, and this is what I have so far. Let's see. So I still have quite a bit to go. And like I said, this is the doodad pattern. It's the same one I used to make part of my daughter's Easter dress last year. I started with this center square part. I don't know how far I got on hers. I haven't laid this down on the ground. I feel like this is kind of puckering out in the middle, but I figure a blanket, for the most part, you're not going to ever have it laid straight down. But yeah, so I didn't do any color controlling as far as where the colors stop and start. I almost did, but like it's not that noticeable. Right here, it goes from this darker pink to this lighter pink, like on this row. So it's darker pink here, it's lighter pink there. Like it was such, if you're not looking really closely, you might not see it. I don't remember where it changed to white. Oh, right here. That one's a little more obvious, how it's like half of that row is pink and then the half of those clusters are white. But I didn't really feel like wasting, oh no, I'm pulling out stitches. I didn't feel like wasting yarn because I don't know if I'm going to go into a second ball or if I'm just going to leave it to see how big this gets. But it's only one repeat of each color all the way through. So I didn't want to like waste pieces of colors for no reason. So unless something is like blaringly obvious, I probably won't color control. So let's get that back in my Alaska bag. Okay, so then I'm working on 2 turkeys right now because Thanksgiving is next week, and I hopefully get them done beforehand. The first one is a turkey by Teresa's Crochet Shop, and I actually bought the pattern for her plush turkey, and it came with the pattern for the original, like just regular yarn, not plush. And I decided to do the non-plush one now because the feathers are made a little bit differently, and my mom and I were talking and we kind of decided we liked the way the feathers looked for the non-plush one better. So far I've got his head and beak and little hair thingies. This just needs to be cut off. But I have made the feet and the wings and the tail feathers. I just need to assemble those. I did like this pattern has you kind of assemble as you go, where some you like make all the pieces and then you assemble at the end, and I have such a hard time getting to that point. but even though like I should have already attached the legs and the wings and stuff, sometimes I'm just more in the mood to just crochet and not attach, so that's why I only got this far with everything attached, and then now I have to go back and attach all the other stuff. But for the feathers, you are supposed to wait till all the feathers are done and then kind of pin them on, make sure they're where you want, and then attach them. So yeah, I think he's cute so far. This is just made with whatever random colors I have. I think this is a big twist from Joanne's color. I don't know. The second turkey, I'll have to post a picture of what it's supposed to look like at the end, because what I have right now doesn't really show you anything. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of something called paper quilling. It's something that I've done. I learned how to do a little bit years ago, and I thought it was kind of a cool concept. Now I don't actually do it on a regular occasion, but I think it makes really cool looking projects. And so somewhere I saw, maybe I was searching on Etsy or something, just for turkey patterns, and I found this turkey, and it's crocheted, but it looks like it's made out of paper quilling. So like the shapes look like the shapes you would make out of with the paper. So I thought it was kind of a cool concept, and it's basically a bunch of rectangles that you then sew together. So right now I have 3 feathers, and then it's going to have another feather, a shorter feather here and a shorter feather there. So I don't remember how these are put together because I didn't reread the pattern. And then there's going to be like a little body and a little head, and then you like, I think they just use googly eyes or something for the eyes, but and those are kind of made in spirals. So, but yeah, basically each of these feathers is made, you decide like 5 colors, and they're labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then she tells you how long of a rectangle, just 4 stitches wide, you need for each section, and then she explains how to connect them. One of these, I think it was this one, because these are not all the same brand of yarn. They're all size 4 weight, whatever, but they're not all the same thickness and everything, you know how that happens. So one of them I think it was this one, I had to take out like 10 rows of this one because it was like way too high. So I mean, if you wanted to make something like this, it might make sense to make sure it's all the same or similar thicknesses of yarn, but I'm just working with my stash. So but yeah, I have some of the actual rectangles made for the other feathers. I was doing it while I was on the treadmill, so I didn't feel like attaching them together. I just wanted to make the rectangles. So yeah, that one is, I think, almost done because I only have to assemble 1 feather, finish the rectangles of the second feather, and then the body parts they're small, so that shouldn't be too much to put him together. Okay, so just the other day I just started this. This is a pattern by the Friendly Red Fox, and it's free on her website. It's a baby princess squishy, something like that. So I'm making Cinderella. I might have overstuffed the bottom. It looks weird right now, like the head looks way too tall, but I think once you put the hair on it, it might be okay. So yeah, it's like diaper, and then it's gonna, I made the arms and the legs, or one leg so far, because I have to make the other leg. So you have to attach those, and then you go back and add the dress onto here, and little sleeves, and then you add the hair. So she'll have yellow hair. This is all burnout blanket yarn, and I don't know what else. I'm gonna either try to embroider eyes, or I'll make the crochet eyes from Joe's Web like I've made in the past. But yeah, this one's supposed to be like it's supposed to be like a squishy or a snuggler or something. She calls it something specific where she understuffs it on purpose so it's a little more squishy. So I'm not sure about the shape of this once I add the legs. I think the legs point out kind of more straight. It might look more normal, but it looks weird right now. So I'm hoping it turns out. It's supposed to be for a friend for Christmas because growing up she loved Cinderella. So, and last year I tried to make her a Cinderella over her birthday, I think at the beginning of the year. I tried to make her a Cinderella out of a kit that I got and it just did not look good. So I made her something else. So hopefully this one works out better. And then I just started this one yesterday, and I might be slightly regretting this decision. But on Etsy, I was looking just for nativity patterns. I usually make my grandma a nativity of some sort, and I realized a few weeks ago that I didn't have one planned for her this year. Like in the past, I've done like a diamond painting, or last year I made her that big filet crochet blanket from Mary Maxim. It was a kit, and so I worked on that for like almost all year. I was like, oh, I don't have anything planned, so I found this pattern for a 1-inch nativity, and it's just Mary, Joseph, and baby Jesus, but it's made out of, they use like embroidery floss, or she said the pictures of like the how-to pictures are using size 10 crochet thread. So that's what I'm using, in a 1.5mm hook. And I'm not sure if it's going very well because it's really little. So this is going to be Mary. You start with the head, and it kind of threw me off. Her head's weird shaped because normally for amigurumi I'm used to just doing it in a spiral. So I did the first 2 rows in a spiral rounds, and then I realized you're supposed to be slip stitching and chaining 1 each time. So then I started doing that, so the head's weird, but it's going to be covered in hair and a little shawl thing, so you won't see the back of the head. But yeah, then you come down and make the arms. You're still in a circle and until you like make these armholes, and then you go down and you make one leg, then the other leg, then you would reattach this to make the arm, and then I'm going to reattach here. And so the legs are 6 stitches around and the arms are 5 stitches around, so it's really little. It's kind of hard. And then later I'll go back where these are back loops. I don't know if you can see that. This little ridge is back loop only, and it'll make the little dress. So basically Mary and Joseph are going to be made exactly the same. They're both like wearing little dresses, but like it will look like robes. And then I'll have to attach some hair, make a little like shawl, whatever, head covering things, and then baby Jesus is just like a little oval with a little circle head, like, and a little circle or a little white hat. So if you want the hat, I don't think you have to have the hat, but yeah. So I thought about making 2 of these, but I think I'm just gonna make 1 because it's a lot of hard work, and I worked on this for I don't know how long last night because I was waiting for my daughter to go to sleep. But yeah, so I don't even know if it's right. Like her pictures have the legs showing like more straight down and mine kind of poke out. I'm hoping that's okay because that'll be covered by the dress and my arms poke out more instead of straight down. I have to weave in all these little ends. And it's really hard stuffing such a tiny piece because it said stuff it well, but then there's stuffing poking out as I'm trying to crochet. So wish me luck on finishing this one. But I'm glad it's just the 3 main people, not like a big thing. Then my final work in progress is my daughter's temperature blanket that I've been working on for a long time because she is turning 4 in a few days, and I do the temperature blanket for the first year of their life. So since she was 1, I had all the temperatures. I could have started it, and it's just taking me forever. So my hope is, if I counted how many rows I have to do left and how many days until Christmas. So if I do 2 rows a day, that should give me enough time to then weave in all the millions of ends and get it to her for Christmas. We'll see if that happens. But I just wanted to show you where I'm at and where I was last time. So I have to find my stitch marker real quick of where I was last time I showed you. I don't know, it's been a little while since I've showed it to you guys. So hold on. Okay, so last time I showed you, here's the stitch marker. I was there. I don't know what day or month that was, but now I'm all the way to here. I'm like the end of August, so I have a few months left to go. Just as a reminder, each row is 2 days, so it goes back and forth the days so that it's not like forever big. Let me see if I can, I don't know if I want to show you my whole messy room, but you can't really see it. Let's see. Yeah, there's the bottom. Okay. So, yeah, the blues and the purples are the coldest. Actually, the white's the actual coldest, but that's the only day that was white. And then you kind of get to blues and greens and yellows, and then the oranges, and then the pinks are the highest. The dark pink is the highest. So I'm done with all the dark pinks. There's no more dark pink after this row here. So it'll be going back to lots of the light pink and the 2 orange colors. And I'm also, there's no more of this lighter purple color. So it doesn't get quite as cold towards her first birthday as it was after she was born. So there's going to be a lot more greens and blues and just a little bit of the dark purple. So yeah, sorry it's kind of hard to see. But hopefully I can get it done. I mean, I have a lot of ends to weave in, but some of the rows it's the same color, like for half a row as the row before. So whenever possible, I don't cut the ends, but there are ends all down the middle where the day changes, and on this side down the middle. So there's still going to be a lot of ends to weave in. So I probably should start working on the ends now. I don't want to. And I'll just, I don't know. It's just easier for me to sit down and try to crochet 2 rows at a time. Let's get you back up here. Okay, that's all my works in progress. And I did spend this last week working on one project, the 6 of them, because it's something that I told my sister-in-law I would make for her like 2 years ago, and I never really did. So okay, so she saw this idea once and thought it was really cool and asked me if I could make one. So then I made a few like prototypes, and then while we were visiting them once, I like asked her which ones I liked best, and then I would make some. So this is the first one. It is basically a drink holder thing, glove to keep you warm while you're having your cold beverages or whatever in the winter. So this one, I think it's a Crocheted Simplicity website pattern, but I did make some changes. They use like a bulky weight, and I used 2 strands of worsted weight together. I did change the way that this part is done because her ribbing didn't make any sense to me, and so yeah, so this was the first one I made that they were like, yeah, make the rest kind of like that. So then I kind of didn't really work on it much, except for like I started the second camo one over the summer, and I was struggling. This one's not quite as good because I still didn't love the way the ribbing was working out. So I changed it to, these are front posts, double crochets, and then just regular double crochets, not back posts, because I hate doing back post double crochet. Oh, and I don't think her pattern has this part, so I kept changing it. This one's all weird because the way I sewed, let me explain. So basically this part here is a long tube, and you fold it in half and sew that. So then there's this, like, would be like the seam down here, and this is the other part. And then you go around the little opening of the tube to make the armhole. I like having this at the bottom to keep your drink from falling out, so you're not actually having to squeeze it. You can just kind of having it rest in there. So some of them I like had sewn either like flipped inside out or whatever. So this one had a hard time like going into the stitches to then make to make decreases in the circle. So that one looks a little more wonky, and for some reason, like this part, it just looks weird. I don't know. So that one wasn't my best. This one, I just used like a variegated pink and then a solid pink, and then I ran out, and so there's a new solid pink for part of this. This one, I think I did a little better on here, because what I did was when I attached the tube, I did single crochets around the bottom, so that then I would have single crochets to work into to do all the decreasing around. So I think that worked better for that. I did have to, I feel like I had to decrease a little bit here because I felt like it was really big and open. But at the same time, I don't have a man's hands here to like, my husband's at work this whole time I've been working on them. So I didn't want any of these to be too small for a guy's hand to go in, because I have small hands, so I don't want it just to fit my hands. This one I thought was fun. I just had this random neon and black yarn, and then I added black with it. So this one, you can't, you might have to hold your drink or have a taller drink, because yeah, depending on the yarn, some are thicker, some are not as thick, and I probably should have gone by measurements versus like stitch count, but I didn't think that far ahead. So that one's a little bit bigger. And then the last one, and she said she didn't care, oh, two more actually. She said she didn't care what colors, so I was just kind of going with my random variegated colors and then matching that with a solid color. So this one is random variegated browns. Oh, that one's big too, dang it. And so I think I did the same ribbing on all of these once I figured out I liked that way. And then this one is a random orange variegated with orange. Okay, that one's not as bad. I should have done that test before finishing all those, but oh well. And I think she just wanted to give these as like gag gifts to her friends, so I'm not too worried about them being like perfect. I'm not selling them or anything, but they do seem to kind of take forever. So even though it's bulkier with two strands held together, I'm using a 5.5 millimeter hook to keep it tight. So I mean, I could maybe go up a little bit and have it less tight, since it's double layered. You don't need it to like, you just don't want it to be holy either, so it's kind of a balance, I guess. But yeah, so I was supposed to be seeing them for an early Thanksgiving early this week, but then my husband had to stay at work longer, so we canceled those plans. So that's why I was trying to work on those so that I could get them to her before that happened. And then yeah, so I don't know when we'll be seeing them next, but I'm sure we will sometime between now and Christmas-ish, so they will get those then. I think that is everything. Hopefully this isn't way long, since this is already almost 30 minutes and I am going to have to add it to the other stuff that we did. But yeah, I just have my daughter's turning 4 this weekend, so it's just going to be us hanging out and making her a cake and opening presents. So hopefully that's exciting enough for her. She brought treats to her preschool class today, so that'll be fun. So anyway, I guess that is everything. Bye for now. Bye guys.